Alright, I'm here in Adobe Bridge right now, and these are the three images that I'm going to be using. Alright, this one was taken at exposure. This one was taken at -2, and this one was taken at +2. I'm going to select all three of these, holding down Shift and clicking the first one, which will bring up the selection of all of them, and dragging them into Photomatix Pro 3. Now when this menu pops up, what you're going to press is you're going to select Generate an HDR image and click OK. And the next menu pops up, click OK on that. Okay, you always want to make sure Align Source Images is checked and by matching features. And since when I took this picture it was kind of windy out, I'm going to set background movements and the detection to high, and then take tone curve color profile. Now it's going to take a minute to load these in. Alright, now you should have something that looks like this. And what you're going to do is click tone mapping on the left hand side. And you should end up with something like this. Now, what I would recommend is pulling the strength all the way up. And the color saturation is on default. If you drag that up, what this is going to do is make everything really bright, all the colors really bright. So I'm going to bring that down to about 80. Okay, now for the light smoothing, when you click high, the more realistic the lighting is going to smooth. So when you go down to very low, it's going to give you this sort of surreal, cartoony look. You come over here and look at this thing. You can see it's more. Or if you come up to the second to last, it's looking a little bit better. And the middle one is, let me see. I think maybe high looks the best. Now what you can do is drag the luminosity, which basically, if you watch, it'll just bring up all the shadows, add detail into them. So if I drag that back down, that's all the way, you'll be able to see there's less detail in them, and when you bring it all the way up, there's more detail in the shadows. Put that at about a 6. Now if you're familiar with Adobe Photoshop, and you've ever used the levels in that, this tone panel is basically like levels. This is like the far right slider in levels. It brings all the whites out. Let's undo that. And the black is like the far left slider. It brings all the blacks out. Gamma is like the middle slider in Photoshop. It's the shades in between white and black. It's the gray areas. So it affects pretty much the whole image. If you bring that up, you can see it'll get really bright. Bring it down, it'll get really dark. But I'm gonna undo that. Alright, but I'm just gonna bring this down. Well, it's up because when you move it to the left, it goes up instead of to the right. And put it right there. And really, just all HDR is messing around with these settings, and until you get something you like. I like this, so I'm just gonna hit process,